It doesn't hurt yet, but when his teeth grow in, it will be very, very painful. You're going for the mic again.
At just 6 weeks old, Mackay has taken to Rachel as his surrogate mum. Where she goes, so does he.
Basically what happened is his mother's no longer producing milk anymore, so we had to intervene and hand raise him. So we'll have him for a few more weeks and then we'll try and reintroducing him back with mum and dad. What are you doing?
One of the perks of the job, while Mackay is so little, is that Rachel gets to take him home at night. But the keepers are mindful that Mackay will have to return to his family. Ring-tailed lemurs are highly sense-orientated, so to keep his family in touch with this little critter, the keepers leave a blanket that Mackay has slept with in their den. This way, the other animals remain familiar with Mackay's scent.
When we want to do introductions, we'll take him up there and we'll hold him up against the mesh so they can sniff him, they can lick him, they can try and touch him. Just so they get reacquainted with him and his smell.
Native to Madagascar, these primates have adapted well to zoo life, a move which has also ensured the longevity of the species, as the dry forests where they live are quickly disappearing.
Ring-tailed lemurs are omnivores, which pretty much means they eat anything. Here at the zoo we feed them mainly fruit and veggies. They do occasionally get protein, so things like mealworms, cheese, beans, peanuts. We feed the lemurs roughly about 5 times a day, so they get a bulk feed in the morning, a bulk feed in the afternoon, and then little snacks throughout the day to keep them occupied.
Ring-tailed lemurs are named for the alternating black and white rings on their tail, the tip of which is always black. Their tails are longer than their bodies and are used for balance as they jump through trees. Their balance is quite incredible, making these creatures the ideal candidates for a primate trapeze. Their tails also play an important role in attracting mates.
Lemurs are found in troops of up to 30 animals. Females are the dominant ones. They maintain a matriarchal hierarchy over males. Males compete for females' attentions via what we call scent wafting. They have scent glands on their wrists, and what they'll do is they'll impregnate their tail with scents from their wrist and from their chest glands, and they'll waft it in front of other males' faces to scare them away. They'll also waft it in front of females' faces, and obviously the smelliest one wins her affections.
For little Mackay, he's about a year or two from maturity and is still exploring life, where he is the centre of attention.
He's definitely a 10 out of 10 for cuteness. What are you doing? Don't bite me. Minus the biting.
There is more to being cute than just having a pretty face. Some animals instantly make us smile, and while others may not be so attractive, their quirkiness and relationship with humans can be incredibly charming. We explore the characteristics that allows each animal to claim the title of cute. Who will be the cutest? In the end, it's more than just good looks. Who wouldn't want to take home a baby ring-tailed lemur? A big tick for cuteness. The question is, will our next adorable critter waddle its way to the top of the crown? If you're looking for the king of cute, these guys have got it covered. Slipping, sliding bundles of joy, these super social animals are found in the northern reaches of Antarctica and in huge numbers.
It was a totally mind-boggling experience. I will never forget it.
Sally Robinson had an enormous treat visiting some of the world's largest colonies on a truly spectacular Antarctic trip.
I landed and I would have stood on that beach for at least 40-45 minutes without taking a photograph. I just had my mouth open at the number of king penguins that were there. Very special.
The king penguin is not to be confused with its larger relative, the emperor, having a much brighter, purer golden neck to complement their perfect tuxedo.
I just love the necks on them, which they mostly keep. That's sort of hunched into their bodies, but then there are other times they can stretch that neck and it's absolutely ridiculously long. You just got no idea. White is brilliant white, and the yellow is a beautiful pure yellow, and the black, and it just makes lovely abstract sort of paintings. Very, very beautiful.
The king penguin's breeding cycle keeps them close to home for most of the year and requires the family to constantly come and go in a flap.
They're doing all sorts of things because king penguins have got an 18-month breeding cycle. There will be ones who are courting, there will be old ones who've come back and found their old mate, there will be young ones who've just come into their adult plumage for the first time, just learning how to court.
If you're a penguin, dating is easy. A simple call lets everyone know you're single. And once you've found a partner, the romance is on. But courtship is not without competition.
I think the chess pushing out things a lot of it. I'm not quite sure what she goes for.
They will trumpet, and if they get really upset with each other, there'll be some slapping with the flippers. Very amusing to watch.
As with any important date, making sure you look good is very important.
Yeah, king penguins are fastidious about grooming, and they have a special gland at the base of the tail which they use to smear oil over their feathers so that they're completely water repellent when they're in the water.
Streamlined to swimming perfection, their grace in the water is a vast contrast to their famous awkward waddle on land.
They are little surfers, they're very good. When they come out of the water, they tend to just surf in and stand straight up if they can. Otherwise, it's a lot of trouble to try and stand up later using their flippers and their beak.
Handsome looks and super surfing skills are not the half of it. Penguins have an incredibly strong maternal side that takes up nearly all their attention.
King penguins have a brood pouch, which is above the feet, so they have the egg and they stick it up there under a sort of big, thick fold of feathery skin, which is a very warm place to be. They share that brooding, so one will go out to sea and get food and then come back, feed the chick, and the other one will go out to sea. So there's a strong investment by both of them in raising that chick.
So strong is the bond that parents are able to identify their chick's voice in the crowd. In a family this size, that's no mean feat.
King penguin really is the king of penguins. I don't have any need to see emperors. I've seen kings in huge numbers.
Dashing, charming, these kings of the Antarctic will certainly win a place in everyone's heart. But the lively little lemur of Madagascar is going to hold its position at #1, so the king penguin sits at 2. But will they both hold their spots against the playful antics of our next cuddly quadruped?
Just the most magnificent creature I've seen with my very own eyes. They're extremely adorable and extremely frightening at the same time.
They're so placid. They are simply there to dine. That's their whole life, to dine and mate. They're just gentle animals, and they're really lovely to watch.
You may trek for 20 minutes, 2 hours, or even 6. But however long it takes, the quest for an up-close and personal experience will be one you'll embrace forever.
Once we got started, it sunk in that we're in the middle of this jungle in Rwanda with a guide who had massive rifles, and he was communicating with the trackers through nothing but like a walkie-talkie.
They were well and truly immersed in gorilla country, deep in the tropical rainforests of Central Africa.
Just before we got there, you can just hear this really faint thudding in the distance, and the guide turned around to us and said, "Can you hear them? That's the gorillas banging on their chests." And then we spotted them, and it was incredible.
You can't get within 7 metres of them, you have to stay away, but they can come as close as they want to you. The ones that were playful were keen to run around and would often brush past you while they're doing a sprint chasing each other, and it's just the most marvellous feeling. I think on 2 occasions they came down and sat next to me. I've got photos of it, and I was just in awe of this animal. It was half a metre from me. It fed, and then my guide said, gently move away, and you do that. But when you move away and you watch, and you think, that animal came and connected with me.
There is so much appeal when it comes to gorillas. It's like coming face to face with a very hairy version of ourselves. Their DNA is, after all, 98% identical to that of humans.
What makes them cute is their human-like behaviour, the fact that they've got opposable fingers. They have palms which have a fingerprint, but it's a whole palm, and their feet also have a marvellous defined footprint. Their fingernails, like ours, horribly dirty, but so close to humans.
Kim took this journey to shoot photographs for his book about safaris in Africa, but got so much more. Like Amber, he too found the experience of sharing the same space as a troop of gorillas to be totally overwhelming in the best and most extraordinary way.
There were 12 gorillas in our troop. One of them was a teeny tiny baby who rode around on its mum's back. Then we had 2 little toddlers. I think they were the highlight because they just played, and they played like human children, like you'd imagine 2 two-year-olds would play.
The largest members of the primate family, male gorillas can hit the scales up to 240 kilograms and can tower at 1.7 meters when fully upright. However, these gentle giants are quadrupedal, meaning they move around on all fours. Their arms have bigger muscles than the legs and are much longer, with a span of up to 2 meters. Add that to a meter-wide chest and the proportions become quite imposing.
Gorillas are unique because there's very few of them left in the wild. They are hard to get to, and they're so much like a human. A gorilla's in the top 10, there's no doubt.
Especially the teeny tiny one. Couldn't believe that something could be that cute and tiny. And you do just want to grab it and cuddle it. So yeah, I'd say 1 or 2.
Incredibly endearing, it's ever so easy to fall in love with the charisma of a gorilla. But it's not going to bump out the king penguin or ring-tailed lemur from the top spots. It sits at number 3. But ready to take on the challenge of being cute is a rather unlikely contender.
For me, the octopus became significant because it started hanging around with me. It just turned up one day when I was photographing and continued to turn up each day. And since I was working macro, staying still, it just hung there. And
Underwater photographer Peter Strain spent every day for 6 months diving under the same pier. And what started as a photographic record soon became more about his relationship with some of the least understood animals in the world.
I learnt that it maintains eye contact. When it turns up, I'll turn and it'll move to get eye contact.